Hey everyone. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of a proposed form-based download workflow, kind of aligning with getting rid of the map. You can see that there's four inputs here: the name, the region, the countries, and the products. By default, two of these are going to be disabled, the countries and the products. That's because both of them are going to be dependent on the selection of the region. Right now, since we do have just two regions, Africa and India, which I'm putting South Asia for now, this is essentially the options that would be available. Because the resulting products and ultimately countries are dependent off of this selection, it's the first thing that kind of filters out the rest of the data, both in terms of what countries are available for that region, as well as the products that are available for that region. So for this example, I select South Asia, and then we go to the next input. You can see that of the countries, rather than listing all the countries in the world, we're only going to be listing the countries that are available within that particular region. So for this example, you can see that I took a little bit of, I anticipated us adding a little bit more countries to this South Asia region. Right now, it's probably just going to be India with the country of India. But for other places and kind of as we continue to expand across the world, I was thinking it's nice to just have that initial filtering of options so that the user can just have a little bit more specific view to what they can select. So once the user's selected the countries, India and Pakistan in this example, the next input is also no longer disabled, and this is going to be where they can select the product. So if you look at the input, there's this little button in it of update product selection. Once a user clicks that, it opens up a modal, and this modal has two parts to it. So one is an input at the top that lists the selected products, and the other part is a list of all the products that we have available. I have them in a structure similar to what we have in the insights page for the listing of the different product instances, where there's this little radio button, but the entire thing is also a button itself. So like, for instance, if a user were to select asset wealth as a data set that they wanted to download, this little thing would actually expand and include these two additional options of the geo levels and vintages. So these geo levels are also going to be something that's dependent on this product instance. So not all geo levels are available for individual product instances. So as we think about constructing, that tree of the hierarchy from region to product instance to even geo levels and vintages, this is kind of following that same hierarchical structure. So right here, you can see that as a user creates their selection, in this instance, I've selected settlement and all time ranges, that as they add it, it also gets updated in the input above to these little tags that can be crossed out or deleted to remove that product from the selection. And then as a user updates it, so if they had included settlement, local, subnational, and national, like it would probably follow a similar pattern to what we had in the non-map workflow in Theia right now. Additionally, you can also see that rather than having like the tree of the user has to select the geo level, then the vintage, these two are on that same tier of across all of these different geo levels. We're pretty confident that the vintages are going to be same across all of them for this particular product instance. So once the user has the ability to select their vintage and geo level, they can add additional products to their selection. For this example, you can see like access to electricity. This one only has the aggregate geo levels, so we're only able to select local, subnational, and national, and that settlement option is removed. And here's kind of the way that I envisioned. We'd still have that tree-based selection of what a user could download in terms of the data sets. So seeing how there are these different months available, if I was a user who wanted to download, only data for 2020, rather than having to select every single month individually, I could just select that tree. And this is also something kind of in tune with the current way that the selection works. As a user selects, you can see that the input above is also updated. The tag now has the additional vintage added to it. So now we know this is going to be access to electricity, local 2020. And then you can also see that now that the user has created multiple, and really it's just one selected product, this select product instance buttons is now enabled. The user can now choose those selections, and then this is what the end result would look like. We still have just this one form with the downloads, the region, the country specified, and then still have the option for the users to either edit by clicking that update product selection button or just remove products that they want to download. And now you can see that the start download button has been enabled for them to actually start the download.